This is my KRISS Vector. I did some modifications to it. I basically changed all the external polymer parts with the real steel KRISS polymer housings. Lower was real simple drop in. Everything just dropped right in, everything lined up. The upper housing was a lot more difficult. The safety switch did not line up properly. I had to re-drill some holes. There was no hole for the select fire I had to re-drill that. And then these holes didn't quite seem to line up with the mounting points. Top, there's 3 screws that hold the fire control group. Those didn't line up either. So a lot of drilling, a lot of dremeling. The stock is from a real steel KRISS. It's an early production model where there's usually a contour right here for your hand. They changed it from this flat profile to a contour profile. People were complaining it's scratching their hands or whatever. I use gloves, so it doesn't bother me. But I like this one because I can use the early production buckle sling mount. The KRISS came with the sling mount that's on the hinge pin of the folding stock. I don't like that. It puts the sling right here, which would get in the way of the rear sight, and it hangs a little bit awkwardly. So I prefer this type of sling mount. It does hang a little bit, but not as bad. So let's go to single burst or single round semi. That's 2 rounds single. We'll switch to 2 round burst and then full auto. Now let's see what difference my Tokamuri SOCOM Mark 23 SOCOM suppressor makes. I'm really surprised how loud this thing is. Okay, it's on single burst, single round. And it doesn't seem that much quieter. Need more mags for this thing. But it works. I mean, you can see I have real trademarks right there. I have no select fire trademarks whatsoever. There's not really much you can tell the difference between the lower receiver with the KRISS. The only real difference is the KRISS has a sort of textured texture. It's not smooth compared to the real KRISS. Also, the plastic they use is a very brittle ABS plastic. I made that mistake when I like to use this Surefire SR07 tape switch. As you can see, it's really huge. There's a clicky button right there that allows constant on and off activation. And if I want to, there's a pressure pad right here which allows momentary operation of the light. The problem is, because it's so big, you can't fit it through this slot. So on my real KRISS, I did the same thing. I drilled a hole to allow the pigtail part of the other end of this plug to feed through, go through, and plug into my light. When I did the same operation to the KRISS, my drill bit grabbed onto something and it cracked. It made a huge crack right along here. This plastic, whatever this polymer is sort of, I forget what they call it, fiberglass filled, nylon, whatever, blah blah blah, is a lot more forgiving. It's a lot rubbery, I guess, flexible. It's not as stiff and brittle as the KRISS ones, but I don't know. I'm a big fan of this.